Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity, y'all, to either make money in the market or to just learn from the market, right? So let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth, and the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, y'all, let's get started. The Keep in mind, let me go ahead and give this. We have economic data coming out at 8:30. So anything that we go over right now could very well change at any given moment. Let's say that, right? So we are looking at the VIX on this 30-minute chart. And I just kept yesterday's gathering spot because we were trading still in that zone. We moved up slightly and made a new high of 1394. So that is really our resistance. We tested that, got rejected, only to come back down under the 5 EMA, and we found support on yesterday's resistance, which was 1382. So the range that the VIX was trading was now is 1382 to 1394. So with that being said, let's go and look at this. Well, let me say where we're going to have trouble with the VIX. If we break where we are now, which is this 1382, we could very well come down to 1377, and then again at 1373 and 1365, which brings us right at this ATR trailing stop at 1362, and that's to the downside. So if the VIX decides to go to the upside, let's say that, where are we going to have trouble? Meaning if we break above the 1394, where are our trouble places? And that puts us right here at the 200 EMA, looking at it on this 1 hour chart, which is right here at 1418. So 1418 is a trouble place to the upside, as well as 1435, 1442, 1449, and 1460. So if we did, it's finding support at this 5 right here, 5 EMA. So if we decide to, continue to find support and bounce up to the upside, those are places that we're going to have trouble in the $14 range. And keep in mind, when the VIX goes up, normally the SPY comes down. So let's go and see where we are with the SPY. And again, this is the 1 hour. I'm going to go to the 30-minute chart. And as you can see, y'all, we have been trading in this gathering spot. I call it a no trade zone, pre-market, because we have, again, economic data coming out this morning. So the support range was at the 523.53 and the resistance was at 523.82. And the SPY closed at 523.30. So that we're kind of trading in a very small range, a tight range, right? So if the SPY decides to come to the downside, if we break this level of 523.43, we're going to have trouble, or our support area is at 523.07 and 522.89. So we need to watch those two places, because if we drop or break below that, lose support, right, then we have another trouble place at 521.43 and 520.86, which brings us down to the 200 EMA on the 30-minute chart. So those are places we definitely need to watch. So right where we are now, we're really close to the 523.48. So that is support, and it seems to be, declining, breaking out of that gathering spot is what I like to say, right? So, and we should be, see how it's breaking out of the zone, looking at it on this 1 hour chart. So again, if we break this 523.27, the next level of support, looking at it on this 1 hour chart, is 522.33, which brings us right to the ATR trailing stop at 521.98. So those are places that we would definitely need to watch the SPY. And this is a higher time frame, which is the 4 hour chart. So under the 523.22 or the 523 area, that means we've broken through a level of support. So we definitely need to watch the 523. If we break that, we can come back down to the 521.54 and the 518 area, or the 518.11 or the 518.88. That's the ATR trailing stop and the 50 EMA. And keep in mind, sometimes when we have good news, it could be bad, and sometimes when we have bad news, it could be good. But I always say, y'all, trade what you see. And look, we're getting close. We're breaking out of that zone. We're breaking out of that gathering spot, is what I like to say, right? So let's go to Tesla and see where we are. Tesla is just interesting, in my opinion. It's just been running, from that 171 range up to the 179 range, which is, again, interesting for Tesla. It does what it does. So looking at it on this 30-minute chart, our gathering spot will be right here at the 177.96 area. And I would say if I traded Tesla, it needs to stay above this area in order to, continue back to the upside. 177.90 or 177.90 and one 177.90 and 178.92 is our range for Tesla right now. It could trade anywhere in this zone. I would normally set an alert to let me know that Tesla is above this area, which is the 178.92, or if we come down, and we came down once and tested this 20 EMA at 177.66, and we made a low here. This is a pre-market low of 177.12. So I would need to remember this number, the 177.12, because even though this was our zone, it still came down and tested this area. However, price still came back to the zone. So I will always try to keep in mind that it did come back and test this area, but price came back to the demand area, or the gathering spot is what I like to say. So for Tesla today, 178.92 is our resistance, and our support was at 177.90. We are trading in that area under the 5 EMA. Now, if we continue to the downside, 177.64 is our support, which is the 20 EMA, or the ATR trailing stop is at 175.96, which puts us right at the 50 EMA at 175.96. That is really close. 50 EMA and the ATR trailing stop is right at the same place. So if we break that 175.96 range, remember 174.81 is the 200 EMA, looking at it on this 30-minute chart. So with Tesla, it seems as if, we could very well go in either direction, right? In either direction. Keep in mind, there is some gaps to the downside that need to be filled. So where are our trouble places for Tesla? As of right now, looking at it on this 4-hour chart, we are right here at there was an ATR trailing stop, and we've broken through that. We're kind of above that. So our 5 EMA, 177.32, is our support by looking at it on the 30-minute chart. And we can come back up and test, if we break above the 180.67, we can continue climbing, 181, 182, but I would definitely say trade carefully today. It just seems interesting how the market is moving, in my opinion. Tesla it moves $9.09 per day, and looking at it on this daily chart, when we came up and made a high of 179.49, which was interesting yesterday, in my opinion. But again, I would watch the 180.67. If we can break above that, we could very well continue climbing. And keep in mind, again, that $9.09 per day is on average as to what Tesla moves. But again, y'all, wait on confirmations and allow your charts to tell you what it wants to do versus, jumping in and not having confirmation as to why you're entering your trades. I say that often. We are looking at NVDA. So with NVDA right now, our support is at 910.61, resistance 912.23. We are above the 5 EMA and above that resistance line for, I always say the gathering spot, right? That's our zone. So we need to hold support right here in order to continue to the upside. 912.23. It needs to stay above that. And if it breaks to the downside, our support is at 911.35 and 908.29, and again at 904.93. If we break the 904.93, we have 899.27, and NVIDIA moves about $33.48 per day. And if you look at it on this daily chart, we've been creating a gathering spot, so it's ready. It's getting ready to move in either direction. So I'm going to set an alert here to let me know, if it breaks above the 921.66, we could very well be breaking to the upside. Let's say that. And if it breaks under, this 20 EMA, which is at 879.68, that we could be going, to the downside. But with that ATR, $33.48 is the average of what the stock moves on a daily basis. Let's say that. So again, our support is at 910.61, resistance at 912.23. We have a lot of trouble places to the downside. It's resting right here at the 5 EMA, looking at it on this 1-hour chart. So I would say definitely watch this level of 912. We need to watch the 912 area. Again, not financial advice. So right now, y'all, I always say just trade what you see. Watch your levels. NVIDIA, it looks like it was trying to go up, but it got rejected twice. So yeah, 916.51 is a high that if we break where we are now, we can come back and test the 916.51. So I always say where we're going to the downside, and I really didn't see any visible up front outside of this 916.51. So watch that level. Microsoft is an inside day. So I'll give the trigger for that. 417.47. If it breaks above that, then the 418.44 is the target. To the downside, 411.58. If it breaks under that, then 410.88 is our target to the downside, and 415.32 is the gathering spot support, and 415.91 is the gathering spot resistance. Now it did make a high of this 416.71 right here. We did make this high. However, you see that it's the same as this one that kind of gave us a double top. So I would say be careful with Microsoft. Trade what you see, wait on other confirmations. It is an inside day, and those just gives us targets. If it breaks above this, then this is our target to the downside or upside. And CVX is also an inside day candle, so I'll give the triggers for that. If it breaks above 165.17, then the target to the upside is right here at 166.91. To the downside, if it breaks under 163.02, then 163.02 is the target. So, and it's just the low of a previous candle. But right now, CVX is trading in a gathering spot, and it has been for a while. So I would definitely mark those levels. Just know that, there are some trouble places. I always say, y'all trade what you see. Don't rush into those trades. Let them come to you. AMD was interesting yesterday, just looking at it at this 148, and now we're back at 153. So our support is at 153.24 and resistance at 153.63. We are trading in this zone, and we're above the 5 EMA. So if we get above the 153.63, then we're going to have trouble right here at the 154.06 and the 154.36. So 154.06, 154.36 to the upside, and the 154.96. So above where we are now, or above 153.63, 153.81, 154.06, 154.36, 154.96. So we have some trouble to the upside for AMD. Now to the downside, if we break under the support of 153.24, then our trouble places are 153.16, 152.54, 152.40, and this ATR trailing stop 152.18. I always say trade what you see. AMD normally moves $5.60 per day, and I know looking at it sometimes on these charts, it looks like it's been creating a gathering spot for us, meaning just trading sideways. So it could very well move in either direction. I always say wait on the charts, y'all. Wait on it to come to you and allow, make sure you have confirmation as to why. And when it goes against your why, that's when it's time to get out of the trade. So the QQQ was trading also in a zone. So the 445.90 is our support, 446.20 is our resistance, and we've come down under that support just a little bit. So that 445.63, I need to remember that because that's a pre-market low. So I would set my alert as I have to let me know once it's above that support or below, above or below. I always say that, above or below, and I'll trade it in the direction to which it's going, and I'll make sure that I wait on other confirmations. SQQQ is also trading in this zone. Our support is at $10.34. Resistance is at 10.36, but it's right there at the 20 EMA. So we have to be careful. It has already tested this 20 and tried to break the 20. Now, if we come back and test this again, we could very well break through it and continue to the upside. Just know that resistance, if we break through that, we are going to have trouble at the 10.43 and the 10.48. So again, if you trade these positions, y'all, trade carefully and don't rush into your trades. Today, with information that comes out, sometimes we can get good information and still have a bad market. When I say a bad market, a down market. This is the SPY again, and we're trading in this zone. We've come down to test this 50 EMA almost here at the 523.07, and it seems like it is trying to go back up, but look, it's right there at the 55 EMA and the 20 EMA. So that's strong support. If we break this area here and come back up and test this 523.82, we have broken through strong support, and we very well can continue to the upside. So again, I always say don't just wait on, and always remember to wait on the candle to close. That's always interesting, y'all. So again, I hope these videos are very, very helpful. Sometimes I just look and see, I try to explain what I see when I'm looking at the markets. Again, I hope that everyone have a very productive day, a very profitable day. And y'all know I always like to leave you with this: be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.